Laura, what an episode, fam.
What an episode. You guys, I feel like this is one of the it's an episode that just felt like Dom and I. Like we really just I don't know. I don't even know where the conversation went. You're gonna have to listen to find out.
You're definitely going to have to listen to find out and bring people to listen with you. Have a listening party. Tell your mom about it, your daddy, your grandma, your best friend, your boss, your dog, your cat, your pet goldfish. Tell them all to subscribe, follow in, stay tuned to Lactic Acid Road to 1,000 followers, and then you'll get some good nuggets that we talked about today because we talked about our inability to do things at a pace that's not 100%. We definitely got a chance to recap some of the great meets that went on this weekend. We shared a little bit about our running journeys. We talked about how we want you to sponsor us so we can buy t-shirts and Laura can fix her car.
Yep.
What is it called again? Our
Help us
hashtag.
remember.
Help us, we're poor. That's a hashtag.
And I also learned Dom's real name. So again, so many little gems sprinkled throughout this episode. You guys are gonna have a great listen.
And we gave you a sneak peek of some content that is to come in the following week. So you just don't want to miss out on Lactic Acid with Dom and Laura, which apparently might be changing when it comes to my name. So you'll have to stay tuned to find out. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Follow us on social media. She's L Thweet. I'm Lactic Acid Pod on Instagram. We love you. We'll catch you next time. Enjoy the episode. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, peoples and squares, and welcome to Lactic Acid. I am one half of the baller tandem that is Lactic Acid. My name is Dominique, and on the other end, I have the living legend. She is so sweet that they couldn't use sugar no more. They had to use sweetener to manifest how awesome she is. She is balling out in every sense of the word. And guess what? She makes up the second half of Lactic Acid. My sister Laura Thweet, what's going on, fam?
Hello. How are we all doing today? Another day, another dollar, as I like to say. Just trucking right along on this hump day. Dom, how's it going? How are
You need
you?
to you need to stop saying another day, another dollar, unless you put a
Oh,
negative on it.
well, I do want another dollar because as we've discussed, help me, I'm poor.
Help us, hashtag
Um,
help us report.
yeah, so I was telling Dom this before we came on air. Like when you're like you feel like life has finally like settled down and like you're thriving and like everything's going really well and you're just like I am a queen. And then you get hit with a check engine light. You take your car in and they come back and they're like, yeah, these are all the things that are wrong. These are the things you absolutely have to fix because it's unsafe for you to be driving your car like this. Oh, it will be $4,000. So literally, you guys, I am poor. Help me, I'm poor. Um, so yeah, it's a good like one of those moments where like life just humbles you, where it's like, oh, you're on top of the world. Boom, not anymore.
Yeah, I called it the Broke Brothers Foundation, but we may have to just the Dom and Laura Trust Fund. Like, help us.
You guys, it's really like every week it gets more real for us. Like Dom, Dom texted me the other day about he's making shirts like for lactic acid for us to like wear and be like professional and like he wants to race in one for his race in August. And he was like, "Do you want to split the cost?" And I was like, like by
Let's
cost, what do you mean? How many shirts are we ordering? Is it just like for you and I? When do you want the money by? Can I like can you finance it for me? Can I loan it out?
I've never heard a response like that because it was like, can we put just the cost of this on layaway? Um,
He's like, so these are just shirts. I'm like, yeah, no, I know. But like, how do you want to split it? Is it more of like, like an 80-20 thing? Like, how are we doing like right down the middle? Like, I don't know. And now that I've had this whole thing with my car, I'm like, why don't you just get you a shirt? Hold off a little bit longer.
when I was like, and now once she told me that, it makes sense. And it was like, I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, something had to happen." Because she's talking about, "I got the energy that you wanted to write me a post-dated check that I couldn't cash."
Yeah, pretty much. Can I write you an IOU? Anyway, all of that to say, we are thriving. Things are great, but adulting, guys, am I right? It is expensive. And
That
all the little like hidden things that just like surprise you and they're like, "Oh, here, you need to dish out $4,500 if you want a car." And I
it's
was part of me was like, how badly do I need it? Like, could I get an e-bike and get around just as well? Oh,
Oh,
dark.
man. Oh,
So that's how
man.
I'm doing. But Dom, you were telling me off air you've been crushing some workouts, and I think you should update the people because we want to like go on this journey with you as you prepare for your 5K. And so yeah, how's the last few days been for you in your training journey?
It's so funny. You say I'm crushing these workouts, and that's not the right way to phrase it. It's more
How
like
would you say it?
I'm being crushed by these
Yeah. Yeah,
workouts.
we've all been there. Yeah, you're
You
like, I don't
know,
know who's doing the crushing. I don't think it's me.
I will just say this. It's one thing, and you talked about the car, but the Lord has a way of showing you that Hidden Valley is not just a ranch bottle.
It's
It's
where your souls go when you get crushed.
it's
Go to the
it's
Hidden Valley.
it's a real place. And my body right now is in the Hidden Valley. Um, I gotta give a shout out to the best coach in the world, Tori Parkinson. And if you're looking for a coach, please contact her at toriparkinson5@gmail.com. And I can't say enough great things about her. Shout out to Laura's coach too, Evan Swartz the first. And uh
You call it Evan Schwartz the first. It makes me laugh every time. I mean, I guess you're not wrong, but it's just funny.
okay, or shout out to Evan Swartz Sr. Uh,
I like that one better. Okay. Anyway, continue.
um and his baby, the track club junior. And I just I've been doing these hit workouts. And so like I was saying, one of the workouts on Saturday, um, it was like the equivalent of running mile repeats into like not even a headwind, but just an incline, and then you do 95 squats embedded in it.
Hmm.
And it's only 30 minutes, and then the squats start happening between minute 10 and minute 25. Um,
You're doing the 95 squats in that window.
yes.
That you said that to me earlier, and I was like, 95 squats? I don't think I could do that many, even if I like wanted to. If I was getting paid, I could probably do it. I was about to say, you couldn't even pay me to do that many, but you can pay me to do
Yes.
95 squats.
Yes.
But that
Help
would be
us.
the only way that I would do it.
Yes. Help us. We're poor. We'll do 95 squats for money.
Whatever you guys want, we're willing to do anything.
We
Well,
listen,
oh
Laura and I, and here's the thing, we were talking about this too. Laura and I go 100%. We'll do 100. Like,
yeah, we go hard. We only know one way, which I also want you to talk on. But yeah, continue. So you did this workout with 95 squats in the middle, which I can't quite wrap my mind around, but continue.
oh, and then I did a strength workout 10 minutes after. That was like planks, curls, shoulder press, tricep press. Because her brother is swole. We got Big Kathy
Yeah,
here and Big Henry right over here.
nice.
Um, don't make them come alive.
No, no
But
one wants that.
no. But Sunday, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling okay. So that was actually the second time I did that workout. But it's the first time I did a double because I was like, if Laurel doubles, I have to double. So I did a double.
Look at you
Um,
doubling. Who are you?
I don't know if that's the problem. I'm having an identity crisis when it comes to this stuff. But Sunday's the rest day. Monday, I get this full body workout. That's 3 circuits. It was like 45 squats, 60 lunges, planks, push-ups, shoulder press, mountain climbers, sprinting, and something else.
Wow, that is a lot of things, a lot of hard things.
Oh, and they were all with weights
Of
too.
course. Yeah.
And then Tuesday, I went on my first big boy run.
Ooh.
And right after it rains, if you are from the state of Florida, you know what I'm talking about. The time to go outside is not after it rains in the summer. You could do that after a cold front moves through in the fall, winter, and even early spring, but in the summer, you better stay up behind the side. So I go outside. My glasses get so foggy that I couldn't see, so I had to put on a hat, and I ran in my Triumph 20. Well, actually, they're the 21s, but they're the RFGs, the most beautiful things ever. Um, all made possible by yours truly, Laura Christine Thwait the first. And um, I remember I'm flying down the road, and then I started breathing. I was like, Dom, stop. And so I turned around and I was struggling. And so I remember running back home and I told Laura this. I looked at my feet and then I just remembered, okay, if she, believes in me enough to do this, like just go a little harder. Um, and so I did. And the one thing about it is Laura and I, in everything that we do, we give max effort. Don't sit there and tell me to do reps at 70% because that's not it. We're
Don't
not
know what 70% is. Just
no,
like when I didn't know what zone two was, I was like, is that hard? Because
no,
that's the only thing that I know.
no. Everybody's at zone two. Laura and I are on zone six.
We're
Like
on our own zone of just like go hard or die trying to go hard. I think that's like one of my mottos that I've
it's
like modeled my career off of.
it's like go hard, die, and then go harder and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I'm so
Um,
glad that like I've rubbed off on you in that way. And I love that. And also maybe it's a triumph thing. I don't know. Maybe you put a triumph on your foot and you're just like, I can't be stopped. I have to find out what my limit is. You know what I mean?
oh, I found it. Um,
As the
so
air was just like suffocating slowly. You're just like drowning in the air. That is humidity that I don't ever want to take part in. It's been
wait,
humid here. It's been like 10 or 15% humidity. And I'm like, ugh, I feel like the air is crushing me like every day. I'm like, why am I sweating so much? So I would die in Florida after a rainstorm in the summer. I don't know how you did it.
even and we've had a heat advisory like throughout the week where it was like 100 degrees like a couple days, and then it was 100% humidity on top of that. So
Yeah.
to feel like temperature was just like crazy. It was nasty work. Um, but no, it's you made a statement before we started doing this. It was that's why we're brother and sister because we have the same mentality.
Mhm.
And I made a mistake of sitting down and explaining to my mom and what happened. And the problem is everything hit immediately. So I felt like this commercial, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. That
At
was
the life
me.
alert ones.
The life alert.
Yeah. Well, that
That
was
was me.
yesterday after my workout. Like I went so hard that I was lactic like in my face and I like my teeth hurt. I don't know if like you don't get that unless that has happened to you. I feel like if you're an 800-meter runner or 400-meter runner, you probably maybe get that because those are the events that give me that feeling. It's just like a hard, fast burn. And we had like a almost a half-mile hill climb at the end of our hill workout that we were supposed to like go hard on. And I took that to mean I will kill myself to beat as many of my
Mhm.
teammates' times as possible.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I did win my workout group. I paid for it though. I just like went so hard. I was like really unwell. And everyone was like, how do you like like I've never taken my place, like taken myself to that place. Like one of my teammates was telling that after, and I'm like, man, I take myself to the place like every time.
Like, listen, I live here.
But with that being said, over the 13 years of my professional career that I've done this, I have learned the lesson where, especially with the marathon, every event is different, but with the marathon, you do not want to be crushing every single workout in your build. Because oftentimes when you're doing that, you're kind of like draining the tank as far as like what you kind of need, like the reserves you need for race day. So a lot of times it's about showing up and like taking off the workout at like whatever the prescribed pace is and just staying within that zone. Um, and then again, like coaches will kind of map out like the days, like this is really like we're gonna go to that place today because you do have to practice going to that place in order to be confident that you can do that in a race, but you don't want to do it all the time. And I've learned this lesson many times because I will go too hard and then I'll wonder why I got injured or I'll wonder why I overtrained or whatever the case may be. So we joke and laugh about that, but for those of you listening, when you're training for something, you don't want to crush every day. And sometimes we get in that mentality thinking, oh, if I don't like crush this workout, am I fit? Did I go hard enough? Like, did I get the gains? Like, we can get in our head about it. But oftentimes it's better not to crush it. And like that would Evan is always saying that right now. He was like, today's not a day that we crush. And he did say that yesterday. It was like, okay, to be fair, I didn't, we had like a first half of the workout that I think I ran like relatively controlled, but it was hard. But then you make a hill climb and then you like spread everyone out by 10 seconds and I'm chasing my teammates. I mean, I am who I am.
Like,
And
listen,
in race mode.
listen, don't judge me. Like, Tori, and that's the one thing I want to say. She said I gave you that workout Monday because we talked on the phone after, and I said, Tori, I don't like you. And it was I was on the ground doing push-ups. And I was like, I don't like her because that was so hard. It's like, what did I
Yeah.
do to you? Like that
Why do
is a
you hate me?
workout.
Yeah.
Why do you hate me? That is a revenge workout. Like, that's something, yeah.
Yeah.
But she said something that like I still remember. She says, I wouldn't have had you do that if I didn't believe in you.
Yeah. Or like know that
And
you could do that, you know?
and I did it, and she got the best of me, which is why I had to give her the shout out. And then she talked me off the ledge because I was like, Tori, like I gotta go hard. Like, don't tell me what to do, but like, oh crap, you have to because you're my coach. I gotta listen and all that stuff. It's like, listen, like there's a quote, Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high.
Mhm.
And so to me, that's like, okay, when they go hard, we go gentler. And I'm like, no, when they go low, I go to hell. Like I
I
like
go lower.
like I go lower. Like capital ER. Like, no,
Yeah.
I go to the lake of fire. Like that's how, because I don't know, it's just the mentality you and I have always had, but
Mhm.
she echoed the same sentiments. I said, because Tori, I gotta finish. Like I'm thinking about August, I'm thinking about this December. And she was just saying that, you know, you're fine, you're okay. Just pace yourself and then
Mhm.
trust yourself,
Mhm.
and then you will gradually get better. So I had to give a shout out to Evan Swartz Sr. and my coach Tori Parkinson.
They
Um,
are keeping us in line, but they're also like they know how to push and challenge you when like you need that, but you can't like you're not out there like trying to find those limits every time. It's like that balancing act. And I think that's really important and it's something that I've learned 1,000 times over.
yeah.
But again, we are who we are and I can't turn that part of myself off completely because it's made me who I am and I love that part. I love my ability to do that, but it's knowing when to do that and when to kind of hold back. So it can't be all the time, but I'm proud of us. We both did that this week where we were like, how hard can I go?
Now let me
What would
tell
happen
you,
if I went all out?
yeah, let me just test the waters. Now let me tell you what happens when you do what Laura and I do. I can't walk for like I groaned. I had to push up on the car to get up. People are asking, "Are you
Oh yeah,
okay?"
that's
I
when you did
said,
a really full sentence.
somebody watched me do that today at Trader Joe's. I said, "Ooh, ooh," like made that exact noise. And it's just like one of those things like you look at your kids like, listen, don't be like him when you just
Yeah,
take it easy. Go 70% when the coach tells you.
that's what happens if you go 100% all the time. You
Yes.
can't walk. That's how I felt after I did mags on Saturday with my crew, my team. For those of you that don't know what the infamous Magnolia Road is, it's this dirt road in Boulder that's kind of like up out of town. It's like up in the mountains. And it's like a 7.5-ish mile stretch, like end to end of just like rolling hills, but you're at like
Mhm.
8,500 feet. It's a hard run. And we trained there all the time in college. It became famous really because of the book Running with the Buffaloes that was written on the CU team in the 90s, right? Or early 2000s. Man, I never read, fun fact about me, I've never read Running with the Buffaloes. And I went to CU, but I felt like I like lived it like in my own way. Anyway, we ran mags on Saturday and I hadn't run up there in a while and I had 15 and we didn't like go insane, but like we were rolling at the end. And for the next 2 days, I was like, I can't walk downstairs
Mhm.
at all. And I have like 3 flights of stairs in my condo. And I was like, oh no.
That's crazy.
This is not, but at least it was just me. Only Henry can judge me. Like no one saw how I was like sidestepping down my stairs. Um, but yeah, there's nothing like when you're just like so sore the next day after like a big workout or lift or whatever, and you feel so accomplished because you're like, wow, like I really took myself to that place, and like made gains. But then you're like, at what cost?
At what cost?
Now I can't walk. I can't get out of my car.
What is that movie? I think it's Infinity Wars. But when Thanos gets the fifth stone and they ask him what did it cost, he says everything. Like,
It cost me everything.
yes. Like my
Wow,
stomach hurts.
I've never related to something more. Yeah, no. What did
Like
it cost you? My life,
my life, my stomach,
my
my
soul.
my soul, like my butt hurts. Like I sit down. I was like, bro, is this like honestly, I thought I had hemorrhoids, but I was like, no, it's just that those 95 squats with those
Yeah,
1600s.
95 squats. I wouldn't be walking after 95 squats. No.
Truthfully, I don't think I am now. I just don't know how I'm operating. So, like, that's why it took me so long. I kid you not, it took me 6 minutes to get from my kitchen to the chair that I'm sitting in now because I had to walk so slow.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
But hey, you're doing
to
it. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
and it instills confidence in me, like it instills confidence in you that we're gonna do great things and we have amazing coaches. So hit Tori up, hit Evan up. They have so many different things with the track club. They do Thursday night sessions, they do soft hour on Wednesdays. And if you can hang with the dogs, the big dogs, just buy a t-shirt. I was gonna say don't even try. Just buy a t-shirt and go on a run by yourself or join the soft hour and everything. Because listen, Laura different. You can't get with nobody that run 5:15 pace as a snack. I have a
It's too
I
hard.
have a I have a goal, and
Okay.
I don't know if it'll happen this year. I want to be able to go on a run with you.
What do you mean it's not going to happen this year? You're coming out in December, and I already told you that we're going to run together. So you're going
Uh,
to have
uh,
done 2 5Ks by then. You're going to be like, you're going to have done like a whole almost year of training.
so I'm
That's
coming.
crazy.
Okay, so I'm coming to Boulder a week after that 5K.
Yeah.
But you're so fast. Like, I don't want you to go down on my pace and stuff. I will watch you run and provide entertainment.
Well,
Um,
that's actually great timing because I'm going to do a fall marathon. And so when that's over, I plan to just like the rest of the year is just going to be like a victory lap for me.
I
Because I'm going to full send it this fall and it's going to be great. I'm manifesting that for myself. I'm ready for like a great marathon. It is time. So anyway, after that is done, I'm just going to be living my best life. So I'll probably have just started back running in December when you go out.
okay,
So
but you're going at like 6 and 7 minute pace. I'm not going that fast right
I won't
now.
be running that fast. I love a good, like I can run any pace. That's what you don't understand. I'm happy at 9 minute pace. I can run 8:30s. I can run 7 minutes. Like I don't have any pace agenda. I just want us to run together. And then we're gonna go. get brunch after. That's really like the goal of it. We're gonna treat ourselves because I'm a big like treat yourself person, probably too much. When I think about it, like every time I do like a mildly unpleasant errand, I'm like, I should treat myself with a $6 coffee. And then now I'm over here like I can't afford my car repairs. Like I
I
don't understand
can't.
what's happening.
Oh, if
Um,
help us was poor was a mascot, it would be Dom and Laura.
yeah, again, some of the choices I make, I'm like Laura. But anyway, all that to say, circle back. We are definitely gonna run together when you're here, even if we just do a mile. You know what? We could do every 4th of July. They do, I live in Superior, which is like kind of a suburb of Boulder, if you will. It's like 8 minutes east of Boulder. But every year on the 4th of July, they do what's called a downhill mile. And it starts at the top of my street out here at the top of this road called McCaslin. And it is a very steep incline all the way down exactly a mile to this roundabout. And they run this mile every year. So we can just run our mile, like we can drive up, leave the car, run the mile down to negate the altitude,
Okay.
and then I'll run back up and get the car.
Okay.
If I have a car by then. I don't know.
We don't know. Listen,
I
we
might just run everywhere. I don't know. Maybe that's how I'll train for my fall marathon. I'm just gonna have to run everywhere.
guys, we can't even afford t-shirts.
Oh my gosh, it's Stark.
Hello, darkest my old friend. It's Dom
It's
and
Stark
Laura
Financial.
here again.
But no, Dom and I are thriving elsewhere in our lives. Just
Okay.
if Hidden Valley wants to step in with a little sponsorship.
Listen, Hidden Valley, you know you want us.
I
And
don't
you
know what.
know we want you.
Also, Dom, what's our count on followers? Because like you guys know this. When we hit 1,000, Lactic Acid hits 1,000, we're gonna reenact the SNL Melissa McCarthy Hidden Valley Ranch skit.
So our
Um, but where are we on that journey?
well, I got some breaking news, but
Okay.
we're at 824.
Ooh, you guys were so close. We need like 200 more followers.
But I got some breaking news and we're gonna get to our topic.
Ooh, I love breaking news, only if it's good though.
Ellie St. Pierre is running the 5K in addition to the 1500.
Oh, oh, that is breaking news. Oh, I'm so excited for the trials. Man, I just feel like so many of the races, maybe it's because like there's just such incredible depth that they feel wide open.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like you could replay the women's 1500, the women's 5K. You could redo that race like 5 different times and you'd probably have 4 or 5 different like outcomes. Like it is, man, I am pumped. That is breaking news. That's
So
exciting. That's gonna be fun.
we're you may we may have to do that. We may have to do a 2 episode week next week.
Yeah. Because what, they start the 21st?
Yep.
Man.
21st through the 30th and
Man,
stuff.
yeah,
So
we're gonna have to do a couple. It'd be fun to do some like recap shows as we like progress through the trials.
I'm cool with that too.
Because
Listen,
I am pumped. Like field events, sprints, distance, like the whole thing is just gonna be so much fun to watch.
yeah,
It's gonna be a great summer. So many fun things to look forward to. But yeah, the trials, the track trials, man,
I want to tell you, I don't want to give my prediction away for that race, but
for the 5K.
uh yeah. Should I do it just to give them a sneak peek or should I save it?
No, save it. Make them tune back in. We're gonna do so next week. Dom and I are going to do most likely a like trial, like a pre-trial show where we break down the races and then we give predictions and kind of like break down how we like who our favorites are,
Yeah.
who we're betting on. So let's save it for next week. Don't sneak preview it. Let's just save it.
I'm gonna
You gotta
save
tune
it.
in next week to find out who's on our team.
Tell your mama to follow the show, tell your dog to follow. Just tell everybody. Just
Tell
go find
everyone.
somebody. Because you don't want to miss this, our pre-trial show next week. Before we get to our interesting topic, this is actually part of the topic. Um, there was a lot of stuff that went on. Let me just say this. I know that the Olympic trial starts up soon, yada yada yada. And I know there's European championships, praise the Lord. It felt like there was like 35,000 track meets in the United States of America last weekend, and I'm writing a story on like all of it. I'm like, oh my God. There was the Adrian Martinez Classic in Massachusetts. Massachusetts, my bad, Massachusetts. You had the Portland Track Festival, you had the New York Grand Prix, you had NCAAs. I think there was another meet that went down.
Yeah,
Uh
to be honest, I did not do a great job of following. I got overwhelmed and I was like, ah, there's too many things going on. I don't know what to, and you're getting like all these updates but yeah, I felt like every meet there was just fireworks. Um, so I was like, wow, this is all gonna accumulate in one place in like a week and it's gonna be epic.
there were like four athletes to me that I looked at them and I was like, God, Lee, that is wild. I'm not even counting NCAAs. Because that's just a whole nother conundrum. You talk about confusing, you have to factor in these NCAA kids to the trials next week. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
But
we finally like combine. You're like, oh boy.
oh my gosh, there were so many things, so many performances, man. I have to say this. There were like five. Noah Lyles running 1977 to a headwind is like scary.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Um, so that was fun. I gotta give a shout out to my friend. She's been on the show. We'll love her. We'll have her back on. Kara Winger. Kara Winger, if you didn't know, has been retired for a little bit. About a 2022 was her last year. New York Grand Prix went to the museum and she picked up the javelin that was in the museum and said, I'm going to compete Saturday. Not only did Sister Kara compete Saturday, she threw 63 meters,
Oh my
which
God.
not just won the meet, but it qualified her for the Olympic trials. And the qualifying throw for the Olympic standard is 64 meters. So she could easily, I hope to be that great when I grow up. I'm 30 years old and I still feel like there's levels to this. Like you just chilling. She's been killing it with the content creation, growing the sport, and then just like, all right, let me go and get this javelin real quick. And let me toss this 63 meters. She's going to be up against great competition, but that was insane. I just had to give Sister a shout out for that.
Well, yeah, that's a GO performance, where you can retire almost 2 years ago, if it was 22 was her last like season, and then step out there because you're like, yeah, what would happen if I just stepped back out there? Like, what could I do? And then in your first outing out in almost 2 years at the top level of the sport and to throw something like that and qualify for the trials and then be so close to like the Olympic standard itself and potentially making a team. Okay. Like, what is that level of greatness like? Like, I don't even know.
We don't
Matt,
know.
that's amazing. Congratulations, Kara. That is so she's gonna compete at the trials and
Mhm.
oh man, so pumped.
I think she's gonna be doing content creation too. So she's gonna be making videos. I got to text her and ask her. She's gonna be making videos, and then unless something has changed, but I'm 99% sure she's competing at the trials. Um, I had to give her a shout out for that. I have to give a shout out to Emily Mackay.
Yep. Another big one.
157. I don't know what's going on in Massachusetts, but let your boy get some
That
laps
whole
going.
race was fast. Like that's what I mean. I remember Allison Wade at Fast Women like tweeted those results. And I was like, oh my, and it was just like some meet in Massachusetts. And like you have these like world leading times being run, and you're like, what?
157. And
157. I
like
can't even imagine. That makes my face hurt all over again thinking about what it would be like to run a 157 800.
that's my 400 time, like basically.
And that's respectable too. Oh my
So
God, that's insane.
I had to give a shout out to her. I gotta give a shout out um to Nia Atkins too.
Yes, I was gonna say Nia ran amazing at Portland track.
158. And I
Mhm.
saw that race. I actually stayed up and watched that race, all those races. And then speaking at the same meet, I got to give a shout out to my sister, my friend Elise Cranny, who ran. If y'all did not, she came in second. But if y'all did not watch that race, I implore you to go watch it. So Safan Hassan, who won the race with a time of 14:43, um, was in the race. There were a couple pacers. It was Courtney Weymouth. I think Ellie Hennis was a pacer as well. I could be wrong. Safan outran the pacer because I guess she was like, this is so slow. And she had this ginormous lead. It had to be like 50 meters, more than that. It was a huge lead. Pacers are still doing their thing. And Elise and Carissa Schweitzer are right behind the Pacers. And this is like the example of not panicking because she started cooking, both of them start cooking 69 400-meter times. And the next thing you know, Elise is in front and stuff. And so she ran a new PR 14:46. Safan is 14:43. So at least got the standard. Carissa Schweitzer got the standard. And a few people, I think somebody else may have gotten it as well. Some people just missed. I think somebody ran 14:50. But I was like, gosh, lead, that is insane. So there's so many other things that obviously I miss. Obviously we could have talked more into the sprints um as
Gabby
well.
Thomas had a good run.
Gabby Thomas did have a great run,
I feel like
22:42.
she took some like unnecessary heat after like the LA Grand Prix where people were like bashing her. Like maybe bashing's a hard word, but I
No,
was
you
like,
said it right because I saw
yeah,
some of the
I was reading some
tweets.
comments about people being like, there's no excuse like for someone at this level to have a day like that. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like we're not athletes aren't allowed to be human. Athletes aren't allowed to have races that like they don't absolutely destroy and crush. Like and again, I was just like when you look at what she's building for with like the Olympics ideally being like the peak of that, like she shouldn't be like on fire right now. And again, everyone is different with how they prepare for like the pinnacle race in the season. But I was reading these comments after the LA Grand Prix and I was like, oh my God, like I just don't get how people don't understand like how this works. When they don't
No.
understand that like you're gonna have races no matter who you are and what level you're like more consistently running at, you're gonna have days that you have off days. So anyway, she had an off day at the Grand Prix. She handled it beautifully. She was just like, listen, I'm not worried. Like, you know, my goals are further down the track, bigger picture stuff. It's fine. Steps out there. I think was it New York, which I think she was at that one. Again,
Yeah, New York
there's
Grand Prix. There's a lot going
stepped
on.
out there and ran beautifully and was just like, see, told you, like everything's right on track, like I'm good. And I was like, yes,
Yeah.
love to see it, love to see it. And then again, really quickly, just like circling back to Elise, I love that just because obviously like she's been open with her journey and like the transitions that she's been making and like the moves she's made for herself and her career, and like that's a really hard thing to do regardless when you do that, but it's a really hard thing to do when you're staring down an Olympic year and you're doing that all within like 6 months of like the trials. And just like the trials itself is an incredibly stressful thing to have just kind of out there as you're making all of these changes, as you're like having to adjust and adapt and take these bets and risks on yourself. And so to see her navigate all of that and make the decisions that she's confident she needs to make to be the best she can be at the trials, to step out there on Sunday and have the race that she did, to just like prove once again that she's a favorite and she's someone to be reckoned with. Like those are the athletes and the stories that like I really relate to and get behind and I have so much respect for. So I'm really excited to see her coming into her own again and just like right on target for the trials. It's just good to kind of see her back to herself. So
I didn't even mention Sydney,
I mean,
McLaughlin Levrone.
and then there's Sydney who like literally just every time she steps onto the track, it's like that B.O.B. song, like she turns it to gold. Like, like that girl just can't not crush. So, you know, everyone's different.
Yeah, because
But
if that race was run in any other stadium, she would have had the
wait,
American record.
she would have gotten Tanya's American record.
Uh, is it
Just
really
okay.
B.O.B.?
I think it's B.O.B.
I'd be calling him
Like
Bob.
magic, magic.
Yeah.
You know that one? I'm pretty sure that's
No, no, but his name is B.O.B. because I've always called him Bob.
well, I say B.O.B. because it's like B period O period B. But maybe
Okay.
have I been saying it wrong? This is embarrassing. I love how
No,
confident
actually,
I'm on the air too, and you're like, is that right?
no, you're right. I'm actually wrong. But there was a song he did teach me how to Dougie remix. And I heard his line in the song, and it was, "They be like Bob. What? How you do that in Atlanta?"
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true. He calls himself Bob in another one too. So like I know like that's not right. But then I was like, but then I've always called it B like the group B or him B.O.B. I don't know. Bob
Um,
B.O.B. It doesn't I don't know. It's all the same.
Bob sponsored the show once.
Bob, if you're listening, one, come on and tell us who's right. And two, help us report.
Help us report. Hashtag help us report. Oh my gosh. I would say this. I mean, Flow Rider. It didn't dawn on me until a couple years ago. I'm like, oh, his name's Florida. Like he just broke it down.
Wait, oh yeah. Well, it's like we have a road in Durango. My parents live off of it. It's called Florida Road, but it's spelled Florida. So most people call it Florida Road, but everyone from Durango calls it Florida. I don't know.
Florida.
Florida Road.
There's an episode on Drake and Josh, old vintage show from
Yeah, I
2004,
know that show.
and Drake pronounced it South America instead of South America.
For a minute, I was like, South Hummer. I had to think about that. That's funny.
It's like it's in South America. It's like what? South America? we
Yeah,
we
I don't know
had
who knows how words are formed. I don't know.
okay, we had a topic that we're gonna push to after the trials about sports betting. We're gonna
Yes,
push
we're
that.
gonna push that. Yeah.
What is like the weirdest thing you've mispronounced
Oh
that
my
you
God,
feel
I have a
comfortable
great
sharing?
story for this. Okay. There's a restaurant here in Boulder called Bar Taco,
We have
but
that here.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, they're everywhere, I guess. And it moved into town like a couple years ago. And when I first saw it in my head, I was like, "Oh, I wonder what this place is, Bartico." Like I said it, Bartico.
I used to say that too.
Right? Okay, so it's not just me. And so then I proceeded for another few months to just confidently call it Bartico. And no one really corrected me because I don't think people knew what I was talking about. They were just like nodding, like, okay, like, sure, there's a new restaurant called Bartico. Like, I have no idea what she's talking about. And then my mom came into town and I was like, oh, I'm going to take you to this cool new Mexican place that opened called Bartico. It's on Pearl Street. And she's like, oh, that sounds cool. And we roll up and my mom's like looking at the sign and she was like, Laura, I think it's just bar taco. And I was like, nah, that can't be right because it looks like one word. And she's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's bar taco. And so anyway, for like months, I was calling this place Bartico. So anyway, a lot of my friends are always like, hey, Laura, you want to go to Bartico tonight? I'm like, I love it.
Bro, that is crazy. Hey, I'm
But
not mad
you
at
did
it.
it too. I'm not the only one. It looks like one word. Why? I don't know. Bar taco. Put a space in there.
Come on. Come on. People, you're missing what is it Drake's song in My Way? All I gotta do is put my mind to this ish. Cancel out my echo. Oh, I can't say that. So forget that lyric.
I
And
was like, he's
everything.
going there. He's going.
Because there was like there's a correlation, but then I remembered the Lord.
Then you remembered where you are. Okay.
I remember where I am and that my mama listens to this show. Shout out
That's
to Gene
for the
3.
that's for the Patreon page. We'll save that.
That's the Patreon. That's the sponsorship page. If you
That's the
want to be a
sponsorship page, the
if
uncut page.
the uncut lactic acid uncut, if you want the gold status, we can get like
We can
that's
give
what
you
you
gold status, but you gotta
we'll
pay.
send we'll send you a t-shirt with the money that you send after Laura gets her car fixed.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oof. One thing at a time, guys.
It's one thing at a time. It would have been before, but yeah, stuff. But I was gonna tell a story, but I remembered something. you remember the first time you came on the show, I told the embarrassing story about how I passed out at the top of a mountain going snowmobiling in Colorado.
Yeah, I do remember that. Oh boy, I can't wait to get you back out here. It's gonna be so fun.
And oh my gosh, yeah, that's gonna be so fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And then you actually y'all sponsor my trip. Like let's get that to happen. Just kidding.
Sponsor round trip to Colorado.
Yes. Frontier is only $45. So if you just sow a seed into that foundation, then we got you.
Yeah, literally just $1.
Just $1. Just $1 a day.
One
Like could help.
dollar a day.
Now, depending on the airline, I may not make it safely, but at least we
Yeah,
tried.
but yeah, you get at least you didn't spend too much money, not making it.
Yeah. But I was like, do you have an embarrassing story? He was like, I do, but I don't want to share it after that. So I'm gonna do that to you. I'm not gonna share it, but I'm gonna share a joke that I heard by Cedric the Entertainer because it fits me. He said he was at his cousin's house in the country, and the guy talked so fast, he was like, you could just call me Bominicious. And so, or Bominicious. And I was like, all right, cool. He said, all right, cool. And so it was like, Bominicious, you want to come over and watch the game with us? Bominicious, we finna do this. Bominicious, let's do this. And his cousin called him one day, and he was like, what did you call him? He was like, I call him Bominicials. He was like, dude, his name is CJ. He was trying to tell you you can call him by my initials.
Dude, his name is CJ. Like what?
So he's like, I'm calling him Bominicious,
Um,
but he's saying by my initials.
that is so funny. Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's cool you've been calling me that, but my name's CJ. Like not
And he
even
didn't,
close.
he was
It's
like,
cool. Call me whatever you want. I just wanted to like correct you.
but I was thinking about that. Can you imagine, like, and then like he allowed him to call him Bominicious. Come get some fish with us. Bominicious, let's go skiing. Bominicious.
I
And
love
then
that he
like
just like went with it for a long time, it sounds like.
and then his cousin's like, what did you call? What are you calling him?
What are you saying? Who are
And
you
then
addressing?
he's like, his name is CJ. Like he said,
So funny.
he said you could call him by my initials.
Well,
Oh
that reminds me of my first year coaching at Monarch. I think that year we had over 100 kids out on the team, and I was horribly overwhelmed. And those of you who know me well, I am terrible with names. Like I have to hear your name multiple times over a period of time before it like really sinks in. So anyway, I'm trying to learn 100 kids' names and I'm doing the best that I can. And anyway, the season like goes and we're at the end of the year banquet. And one of my kids comes up to me and he was like, Coach, like, thanks for a great year. It was so fun having you out. One thing though, he was like, my name is Steven, not Matt. I was like, what? He's like, you've been calling me Matt for the last 3 months. And I was like, oh my God, like, why didn't you correct me? And he's like, well, you were saying it like so confidently. And I just felt bad after like the eighth time you called me that. And I just felt like I couldn't correct you. But he's like, I do want you to know that my name is Steven. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst coach in the world. So anyway, I've done the same thing. It's fine.
there'll be people who come in the store, and I try to remember all the customers I help. And first of all, they sometimes the older ones don't remember my name. They have their own names they call me. The one that's been the most prevalent, they'll say, "Is Cedric here?" Mm. Um,
You're like, that's me.
it's like, hey,
Cedric, that's not even close.
I'm like, how did we get that? Like, how did
The
we?
most popular one is Cedric. I'm gonna start calling you that. Yeah,
Welcome
I'm here
to
with my co-host Cedric. You guys, you know if you know.
what is it? IYKY or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Cedric, that's so funny. Wow. Okay.
So I'm in the back, um, and I just hear and I heard her voice, and I was taking a drink and putting some shit up, and they're like, "Is Cedric here?" I told
You're like,
and
oh, that's me.
my coworkers, and I was like, "I'm just gonna sit back here for a couple seconds." So I just want to see if like they can pile on, and they were so good. They're like, Cedric doesn't work here." And the old lady was confused, and someone was like, "You meant Dominique?" I was like, "Hey, how you doing?"
He's like, Cedric, yeah, he does work here. He's still here.
Yeah, that's like I remember when I was covering a track meet. Some parents, and this kid went to do some big things too. I got my phone. I'm covering. A coworker of mine brought me Wendy. Shout out to 4 for 4. Shout out to the homie Katie Rice doing big things in North Carolina. Used to work with me at the Orlando Sentinel. I appreciate that, Wendy's. Um, and these parents come up. Are you Cedric? And I said, the entertainer? No, the photographer. I was like, no, that's not me. That's
No,
not me.
different Cedric.
Different, different
Wow.
Cedrics.
Okay, so you've gotten that a couple times. Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, that's when they don't remember my name, they just Cedric is like the go-to.
The go-to. They're like, this feels right.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
guess that's my new welcome to Lactic Acid with Cedric and Laura. Um,
Cedric, Cedric work here. That's so funny. Man,
um,
wow, cool. All right, so it's happened to you. I do it to people. That's just who we are.
did you I don't know about all that, but yeah, I do know. How do you got my name right away though?
I did. Yeah, I got Dominique right away. So,
I
um,
was I
you
need
should
to
feel honored. That doesn't that doesn't always
it
happen.
doesn't always happen, A, and B, I remember because I've never seen a transition like that because Laura called me by my government name when I gave her the introduction and everything. And then 10 minutes later, she started calling me Dom and stuff.
Yeah,
And I was like, are we friends? Like, what's going on here?
we were immediately friends because I think this is very similar to how the first episode went. What we just did. This is just who we've been from day one, and I love it. I didn't know your name was Cedric, so I feel like kind of bad about that, but
Yeah, so it proves you right. You don't get names right. You've been calling me Dominic
I've
for
been
the
calling you
past.
Dominique. It's not even close. So, what can you
You,
do? I am who I am.
but here's the you can't spell my name though.
No, I know. You've told me that multiple times. You're like, yo, you spelled my name wrong. I'm like, did I? Are you sure
Are
that's
you
not how
sure?
you spell your name?
What did you say last week when I kept saying you say some more instead of s'mores?
Oh yeah,
You're like,
s'more. Like I love s'mores. And you're like, what is it, s'more? How am I saying it wrong? It sounds the same.
no, you were like, that doesn't sound right. That's how you do my name. Everything. I'm
Yeah.
like,
No, I don't think that's right. I think you're mistaken with your name.
there's too many eyes in that. Like, come on, man. Like, no. That's like SpongeBob and Patrick when SpongeBob had Mermaid Man's belt, and Patrick was like, well, the problem is you have it set to M for mermaid when it needs to be W for Wumbo. Like that's just kind of like how
Oh,
it
great.
feels. But no,
Well,
no. You told me we have a question.
well, yeah, but we're gonna save it for next week because you guys, we only got one question, which is fine. We know that you're all busy and have all these things going on in your lives, but we would love for you to ask us questions, no, whatever you want to know. It can be running related, not running related. So we only got one question this week, and it's from my girl Tina. Shout out. I told her I'd give her a shout out. But we're gonna save it for next week because it's a trials related question. So again, we're gonna make you guys all tune in next week for that episode. So we're gonna save our one question. So because no one else asked questions, is this just how we end it?
No, we're gonna end it this way.
Okay.
What is a question?
We'll ask
God,
each other questions.
that was depressing. Goodness gracious.
Well, see you guys later.
Bye.
That's
Nobody
what you
likes
get for
us.
not asking questions.
Oh, we're so unlovable.
Oh my God,
But
no problem.
uh I will say this. What question? It could be anything. It's funny, sad, inspiring. I could teach you how to spell my name. I could teach you how to spell Cedric so you don't get it wrong.
Yeah, actually, how do you spell your name? How am I spelling it wrong? It's a great question.
D-O, you spell it D. Okay, it is spelled Dominique.
Oh, I'm leaving out eyes, huh?
Yes, and I'm afraid they're going to deliver it to the wrong address. But
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right. You got the triumphs though.
that's true. That's true. But I want you to spell it just the way you feel comfortable.
I'm
I
always
like
out that first I, because I put the second one in, right? I think it's just the first one that I leave out.
I
No,
feel like the
Dominique,
second I,
the
yeah,
second I,
is Dom the Q is how you spell
or Cedric. Cedric's a lot easier to spell. So you guys start calling you that.
it. Cedric
I'm
Smith.
gonna change your name on my phone to just Cedric.
So my middle name, the initial is actually a C. So just put I don't know what like just put Dominic
I'm just
C.
gonna put, can I call you by your initials? Bomb initials.
You can.
D, no, I'm gonna
You
do
see, you
D.
don't even know how to
What's already happening? Oh my God. I'm losing
DCS.
DCS.
DCS. Hey, I'm
Uh,
with it. I'm with it. But what question do you have for me so I can let you go change my information?
yeah. Okay, let's ask the question. Um, what was one of your biggest wins from the last week?
Um, going out for a run
Oh, I love that.
because not to get into any detail, but health wise, it was a bit of a tough year. So didn't like, even though it's still tough, I didn't really think like, wow, I could do this. And I had like really bad anxiety before going out for a run. And I kept telling Tori, like, I'm so nervous. And I was talking to my mom about it too. Just like, I'm just really, really nervous. Like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, this is a lot. This is so hard and all this stuff. And I remember even the night before, it's like, Tori's like, you could do this. My mom's like, nothing to be nervous about. Just get out. I was like, okay, okay. And I did something I never thought I would do, which was run with a hat and put the hat on, laced up my Triumphs, because I always said I wanted that to be kind of the first shoe I did my first run in,
Mm.
um, and everything. And so yesterday was physically hard for a lot of reasons, including feeling um, like my whole body is inflamed, basically. But
That means you did
I
it right.
Yeah. I text her, I was like, am I supposed to be like this bad, like sore? But I think just I was just so proud of myself. Like, dang, you did it, but you have confidence that you can do it. Um, and so I was like, I text Tori, my coach, I'm like, Tori, I did it, like we did it. And she was like, I'm so like I felt like a kid. Um, and my mom, like she sat there and watched me die as I was trying to like revive myself. And then she just looked at me and was like, you did it.
Did
I was
it.
like, I was like,
The
yeah.
first one's always the hardest too. Like they get easier. And sometimes it's just like the win is just getting yourself out the door no matter how far you go. So I'm proud of you. That's a huge win, Dom. It's a huge win. We love those kind of weekly wins.
So it was just like a 1.09 when it comes to the distance, but it was just like the fact that I was sore and that I did it, but I felt like I could. As bad as the weather was, I was like, okay, I want to run, and I ran more. We go 100%, so I did a little bit more than the workout said, or I went a little harder than it did, and that was okay. But it was like I sometimes as runners, you can feel some imposter syndrome,
Oh, yes.
and I think maybe I feel that a lot in certain ways when it comes to like body image and all that stuff like that. But it's just like dang, like you actually went out and you were able to run by the grace of God. You're using this like second chance to um continue to do something, and obviously I had the race in mind. Really, really now it made me more excited about it.
Mhm.
Um, maybe not that it's in August. Didn't think that through. But I don't know. That was a win for me. I was so excited. And not everybody like honestly, God's truth, I don't think anybody really understood except a select few people. Um I think I even text you and said I went on like my first
Told
run or
me you
whatever.
used for triumphs for the first time in your
Yeah.
outside run. I was like, he did it.
And so yeah, I would say that was my win so far. How about you?
Mm, I would
Actually, I want to change it up. I want to change it up if you don't mind.
say,
What is something cool that you learned about yourself in this past week?
ooh. Um, what did I learn about myself? Um, I just feel like I'm in a really great space in my life. After also struggling through what was probably one of the hardest years of my life. Um, and I'm just like, I learned that I'm relearning that I can do hard things and that when I trust myself, and I have confidence in myself, um, amazing things can happen and new doors can open that you never even knew were there. But it's all about like trusting yourself. And I'm doing that in my personal life. I'm doing that in running. And it feels really good to just kind of like know who you are. And I feel like for the first time in a really long time, maybe if ever, I'm like really starting to like know who I am. And I'm really loving her. And so it's been a week of just like that reminder to do that, even when it's scary or hard or there's uncertainty, to always just like bet on yourself. So anyway, that's my weekly win slash something that I've continued to learn about myself as I am on this journey. So I'm proud of us, Dom.
I realized something as we close. There was something that we didn't do.
Hmm. Okay. How are we going to close this out? You count us down.
First of all, thank everybody for listening.
We love you
Please,
guys. Thank
we
you. Thank you. Thank
we
you.
love you. I almost said hags, but I want y'all to come back. Hags, if you know what
Don't leave us. Don't
no.
leave.
So I'm not saying hags. I'm saying come back and bring some people with you. Road
Yeah.
to 1,000 followers. We want to get 1,000 followers by August. Um, And listen, if you are interested in talking with us about a sponsorship, Lactic Acid Podcast at gmail.com is where you can reach us, and we'd be more than happy to chat with you and bring this sunshine that her, Laura, and me, Dominique Cedric Smith the first, on your cloudy day. So here's how we're going to close 29 on three, 29 on me. One, two, three,
29?
29. We'll catch you next time.